Good evening.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. I am just waiting for, I'm going to give a couple minutes for more people to jump in here. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Good.
Wonderful.
Hi there.
That's not my real name. It's Chris. I'm Chris Spatz.
You're not going to see my video tonight. Something's wrong with my computer. It's not connecting with the camera, so I'm incognito tonight.
No problem. Okay. I haven't heard from Judith, but I hope she's going to be joining us because she sent such a wonderful update a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Chris, well, I'll follow up with you on that. Let me just give everybody a couple more minutes. I'm going to put myself on mute and go get a glass of water, and I'll get us started at 6:35. Does that sound okay?
Right.
Sure.
That's fine.
Okay. Sure. I'll be right back.
How's everybody doing today? Are you enjoying the snow?
Yes.
No?
Wish I had more time to play in it. That just,
Yeah,
it's too busy. Can't get out.
it's beautiful to look at any rate. It's beautiful to look at.
I had a nice snowshoe this morning.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it was lovely.
I went out yesterday.
Yeah.
A couple of times. I had a chance to go out a couple of times. We haven't had this much snow in a long time. So
I know. And it's been staying too. Like usually if we get a good snow, it's gone in such a short period of time.
yeah, it's great.
For me, the novelty starts wearing off around the end of February, which is close to
We're getting there.
up until now. It's pretty nice, but yes.
I know we're all anxious, yes, to get back to again, but
They've all been nice cold snows too, which are easy to handle.
yeah.
Yeah, they're really fluffy.
Yep.
I'm sick of it. I'm not a winter person. I need to shape up, but I'm really not.
I was just talking to somebody in California, and she was saying that it's 85 degrees here. This is not right. It shouldn't be so warm in February. And there's a lot of people out here that would be disagreeing with you right now that they wish it were 85.
Yeah. It's been nice. I like it.
It's a real winter.
Yeah.
Do you, Mark,
It's a real winter as opposed to t-shirts in January. At least
Yeah.
there's some normalcy to it. So, I mean, it's a shame about Texas. Texas sees abnormal weather, and we have a real winter again.
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was speaking to someone down there, and they're so foolish. They say, and you can see global warming is just a bunch of BS. And I'm like, oh my God, well, it's called climate change.
Yeah, they love to say that, don't they? So much for global warming. They just love to say
Oh
that.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. I know. But it's been a very beautiful, picturesque winter. But I think spring is in the air. The other day I went outside and my horses were all cavorting and I could just smell spring right around the corner.
Just missed your introduction, but I'm sorry, I don't know who's talking. Who's calling in?
Oh, this is Tim.
Oh, hi, Tim.
This is Tim. A long time. No, I've been absent a long time.
Did you get your internet sorted out, Tim?
No, but I think I've won my war with Spectrum.
Good.
Yes, it was. They wanted $9,000 to come down my quarter of a mile road, and I got a new farm partner who's a super slick guy. And what he did was he kept on calling and saying, "My children can't Zoom. I can't get them to school, and did it over and over again. And I have no children now. They're all grown. And Spectrum capitulated, and they're going to do a 9,000 install on March 12th for free.
Wonderful.
I
Hey,
know.
Tim,
I'm finally getting it.
Jim, were you on the ECC before?
Yes,
Yeah,
for
that's
many
Tim
years.
Gannon.
What?
Yeah, Tim Gannon.
Tim Gannon.
When did you go off?
I never went off. I've been on for 5 years. I
Ah.
just
You've been
went
having-
offline. I had no internet. I
Yeah.
have Usenet, and it wouldn't support Zoom. And then I paid no attention to any of it. I could have been calling in, but then I've been absent. I was away last month. And I did have to, when I had to do Zoom for like a Noble Core meeting, and I had to rent a room in Kingston. I just went to the Manor and I stayed there for 2 days. I actually came home at night and I just stayed there all day to do my Nobleman Core meeting. And then that was how I got my first Zoom. And I was terrible at it, but now I understand more because
We're
I'm an
glad to have you
electronic.
back.
I'm glad to be back, you know, and I see a lot more of the work the ECC is doing is more administrative work as opposed to physical work. And I'm really not so savvy with all of this. I'm more of a physical kind of person. But I do like to hope I can add something.
Oh, well, and it's hopefully once we're back into being able to actually host get-togethers in person, that'll change back too. But yeah, it's been a year. For
I'm
some
fairly
admin
good in
cleanup, that's
person.
for sure.
Yes. But I watched from a distance a little bit about the beautification work on 209 and underpass, overpass, whatever will be done for the wildlife. And if I can voice an opinion and be helpful, I'm here again.
Great.
And who is this, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh,
My name
this-
is Tim Gannon.
What is it? Hello?
My name is Tim Gannon.
Oh, Tim. Okay.
Tim, this is Larry. I didn't recognize your voice either. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we were having a hard time. It's okay. Well, for now, I guess Judith is not on yet. So I'm just gonna start at the top of our agenda, but let me also say, hold on, pull up this agenda. Sorry, we are live on YouTube right now. Also, I don't know if anyone's tuning in, but this is the first for us. So this is great. We're going to figure this out together. And I'm working on getting our last week's Third Thursday up. I don't know. I can't remember how many of you were able to join it, but our farmscape ecology presentation with the Farm Hub was awesome. And we shattered our record for attendance. We had more than 50 people tune in for that, and it was great. So I'm eager to get it up online so that you all can check that out, and I'll send an email around when I've got that up on our YouTube.
Right.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up my agenda and I've got like too many windows open. Such a new
I can definitely watch YouTube, but there's no Zoom here until March. Then I can Zoom finally, whatever that means.
I'm actually kind of envious of you, Tim. I am so sick of Zoom.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, did you hear this? I heard something really funny. One of my guests said, "What are you doing with all these sheep?" And I said, "Well, they're just here to, because they're Zen." And they said that there was a farm in England that had people come and visit, and then COVID just destroyed their business. And what they did was they took their goats and put them in little booths and gave them profiles and got hired out by corporations to have the goat in one of the Zoom boxes. and that it's a hit, and all of their goats are fully booked.
I have not heard that, but
it's to add levity, and because it's so it's so boring, it's to add levity and a little nature. And the goat is actually attending a corporate Zoom meeting, and it's a huge hit.
It's amazing.
Great.
This is how far Zoom has gone.
Too far. It needs to come back.
Too far.
It needs
That's
to
my
just
point.
back up a little bit.
It's not too far. Right?
I love goats.
I know.
Well-
I'm full of weird news.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who was talking?
You're the chair.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm sorry. I thought somebody was jumping in there. I was just going to say we've got Chris Batts with us. Chris, do you want to introduce yourself
Sure.
for
Hi,
everybody else?
I'm Chris Betts. I live in Rosendale, and I am here tonight because I saw the article in the Bluestone Press about the wildlife crossings on Route 209, and I've been kind of looking for another project, yeah, that one, to get involved with. So I have some experience using remote wildlife cameras. I ran a couple of cam surveys at Minnewaska and at the Mohonk Preserve and at High Point State Park. Going back 10 years, I'm trying to find mountain lions on the ridge. And
Mhm.
I unsuccessfully did not find any mountain lions on the ridge. I've also been volunteered with the Cougar Rewilding Foundation. I'm an advisor to them now. I used to be their president. So tracking mountain lion activity all over the East Coast, although there isn't any to speak of, for the last 15 years or so.
Yeah. Chris, have you seen any mountain lion activity on the other side of the river?
No. We monitor pretty much everything that appears in the media. And some stuff gets sent directly to us.
Yeah.
Within the last year, there was a picture that popped up from Port Ewan that turned out to be a hoax. And very often they are hoaxed photographs. Either they're photoshopped or they're pictures that are taken out west or in the Midwest and stuck someplace on the East Coast. So, so anyway. So so I saw the article, and one of our board members is John Davis, who formed the Wildlands Network, and they're very involved with linking habitat corridors for wildlife, and they've even drafted a federal bill about wildlife corridors and wildlife crossings. So that's
Wonderful.
interest comes in from this. So I'm interested in seeing if we can get some cams set up on these culverts.
May I pose a question? What is our biggest cat here? Is there a bobcat here?
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the biggest wildcat.
Yes, and very often people mistake bobcats for mountain lions.
Ah.
Do you have
Understood.
any sense of how many bobcats there are and where they are?
I don't know. They're certainly at about what's called carrying capacity, meaning that they're using all the available habitat that's here for them. Generally, they have about a home range for males of about 2 square miles and about a mile for females. I work at the Mohonk Mountain House, and we've got a couple of them on the property there. So if you happen to go out with our naturalist, he can very often find tracks of them around the hotel. We had one that was sitting on a railing next to the lake lounge a couple of years ago, and somebody got several minutes of video of the bobcat. So it was pretty cool. The entire time I had cameras out, which was 5 years, I didn't get any bobcat pictures. I have a camera set up on the power lines at Stony Kill, and a cat did come into the set because it left tracks and it dug the lure out of the snow. But because it was below 20 degrees that night, the camera didn't work, so I didn't get a picture of the bobcat.
Ah.
When you see, Chris, when you say Stony Kill, you mean the falls?
Below the falls, where the creek crosses the power lines that go up over Minnewaska.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
So I had cameras set up on either side of the power lines, one on the west side of the ridge, one on the east side of the ridge.
Can you tell us what sort of more exotic animals or hilarious things you've gotten? Have you gotten coyotes or?
Gotten everything except mountain lions and bobcats. So
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of bear, get fisher, turkey, gray fox, red fox, porcupine, chipmunks, squirrels. I mean, if the cameras that are out now are much more sophisticated than the ones that I was using. So, you know, you can get really good photographs. I mean, with these culverts, even potentially, we could get pictures of amphibians moving through there if the cameras can pick them up.
Hmm.
So, from everything that's small, you know, to bear and deer. So.
And your cameras are that light sensitive that they can go on a moonless night?
The new one should be. I haven't used one of these in quite a while, so I've been doing a little bit of research to try to update my knowledge of these things. And I did send a link to
I saw that.
Madeline and Judith and some others in the group, because we can get some pretty good cameras for $40 probably.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to know what those are. I'd buy one of those for my property.
Yeah. I saw that you forwarded that. Have you had a chance to connect with Judith?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
She did send me her review of the culverts, which was really, really good. I mean, it was
Great.
better than anything. I'm on the Mohonk Preserve Land Stewardship Committee, and the Biodiversity Partnership had looked at these, you know, the connectivity between the Gunks and the Catskills is a big deal for wildlife, as we saw again in the Bluestone Press this week, and Ann's article, which was excellent. So the Biodiversity Partnership has been looking at, you know, this the crossings, but we started to, somebody began looking at the wildlife moving through there, but I guess nothing was really documented very well. I remember having this discussion with some people 10 years ago or so, but to my knowledge, nothing has been updated. I've contacted the preserve about it, and they don't really have anything updated, nor does the Nature Conservancy. So, but they are interested in this project, so we might be able to get on, you know, on them on board to advise or help out or whatever. So.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear from her about whether she would be attending tonight, but I hope everybody had a chance to. I meant to forward it along with the agenda tonight. My apologies for not sending that back out, but Judith did send it to us all back on Valentine's Day, and it is really impressive. It is a very comprehensive study, and I highly recommend that everybody review it. And I don't want to put this off, but I also don't want to speak to it without Judith being here. So I'm thinking maybe Chris, maybe we can connect with her, and maybe the two of you could provide a better or a more comprehensive update at next month's meeting.
Sure.
Or maybe even sooner if you have something. But I know Anne's coverage has been great, and this is such an interesting project. I really want to hear more about how we can move this forward this year. Do you know if are you, you know, based on the work that you've been doing, are there grant opportunities for getting trail cams or for doing this kind of thing? Or is that something we should talk with the Biodiversity Partnership about?
I would think there are grants you can get for this, but I don't know anything off the top of my head.
Okay, just curious.
And maybe, you know, the DEC is also certainly you know, interested in this. They have a map that was produced fairly recently about the crossing around Colony Farm, and I don't know who drafted that, but the DEC might very well have some cameras that they could loan us for this project. So I'll reach out to somebody there too and see what we can do. But
and like you say, Chris, they're fairly inexpensive. I mean, you can get a Walmart camera for $30 at Tasco, and I've got one of those, and it beats my Bushnell that was a few years older and a lot more expensive and a lot more sensitive. A Bushnell wouldn't. I had a sharp-shinned hawk at my feeders yesterday, and it didn't pick it up. Landed right dead center, did pick it up in the back bushes. And so I said, I better get my Tasco over here, and my Tasco's picking up a lot more stuff. It just, you know, obviously anything that comes in there, it's going to get. But I don't know why the Bushnell didn't do it. It had picked up pileated woodpeckers, but it didn't pick that up.
Chris, are you going to stay with us for a few more minutes when we get into discussion of some of the other items, or are you going to take off?
I can. I don't know what the agenda is, so I don't know if there's anything that,
Well, I was going to encourage you to, or Madeline, to add, whatever the proper format is, but if we could get some letters of support for the natural heritage plan, of which this whole, crossing, the great crossing of 209 would be a very, very important part, and possibly controversial too, from what I hear. So if we could get some letters from different groups like the several, the workshop group and others, it might be really helpful. That's more Madeline's business, but I wanted to make sure, since the meeting is going to be around our next meeting. So
yeah, it happens before our next meeting.
I have a couple of questions. I don't know, before we move on, regarding the Colony Farm. I was reading about that and the acquisition of it, and you guys, I guess somebody within Rochester was trying to purchase it. But I'm curious, had anybody approached, or did OSI ever get in? Do you know if OSI has been involved with trying to pick that up from the Department of Corrections?
That I can't be sure of. I know this goes back and would predate my time with the ECC for certain. And I know there's been renewed talk, but I'm wondering, John and Larry, you might have more information on this than I do.
yeah, I think they've been involved in anything in this area on either side of the Rondout, obviously, and also in that critical area between the Catskills and the Shawangums. But the Office of Corrections has been sort of the dominant theme and player, more than OSI. But OSI would be playing a positive role there, supporting the Natural Heritage Plan and all of this. That's all more recent news, but they have historically been involved and interested, but not central, because it's been the Corrections Office of Corrections game, I think.
And have you had any discussions with the Biodiversity Partnership about this over the years?
I'm not aware of that. John, are you?
No, people have been talking about Colony for a long time, but I don't know who or what.
It's possible that the town of Worthing has, because that property does cross through theirs as well. And that's something that we could follow up with the town of Worthing on too.
And I don't actually know, I haven't thought of it before, but the Lundy Estate, which backs right into Colony Farms, is a major, that's a major property. And I'm not sure where that is now. I probably should know it. I definitely should know, but I don't. But that's a massive piece of very, very important land. And I would imagine that OSI has been taking some serious looks at that too, but I do not.
That's been, Lundy Estate's been linked up to the Catskills, I think, as far as I understand.
It is. It's there, right. But it's also a big property, and there was a couple of years ago, there was some controversy about its future, and I have not followed up on that.
Okay.
You should.
And I know that, the last that we spoke of this at length at a meeting, Judith, she was, I don't want to say heading it, but I think she was having conversations with somebody at the town of Worthing about it as well. So I'll include that in my follow-up to her, and we'll see if she has had a conversation with them more recently. And maybe we can get that conversation back going, because it's bringing back some memory of some meetings in the last couple of years, but I don't have any detail at my fingertips. I'm sorry. But yeah, related to what Larry said, I should remind everybody that the hearing to adopt the Natural Heritage Plan and the Open Space Inventory as part of the comprehensive plan for the town is going to be on March 23rd at 6:30 p.m. So the ECC already submitted a letter in support of that, but if any of you want to attend as individuals, You can submit your own individual letters in response to it as well, or reach out to your networks and encourage them to do the same. That will play a role in this exact kind of work too.
So it'll help to have individuals send in a note.
Yeah, anybody can. The link to the meeting notice on the Town of Rochester's website is in the agenda, but I can send it to you separately. But the email address for who to send that to is there.
I'll send it
I'm
out.
wondering how many they might get, because they had this scheduled for December 10th and it was canceled the day of back then. So this is kind of like a two-for round of giving people a chance to submit public responses. Okay. Sorry, my snow plow guy just texted me. I apologize for getting derailed there.
It's important stuff.
You know what? It is. We're buried. We're totally buried here.
You need someone to plow you out?
No, I'm okay right now. No.
Okay.
But we put him off for the last two storms, and
you can call me. I have a beautiful plow truck, and I will just do you for free because I'm not doing it for money.
Oh. Oh, well,
I bought a plow truck.
Did everybody hear that?
I bought a plow truck from the city of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And I don't want any money, but I will help people with CC.
Okay. In exchange, yeah, maybe. I was going to say we could work out an arrangement with one of your goats as well in the summertime. I was looking for one to mow my lawn because I don't.
I have no, I have sheep now. I have one goat. You don't want a goat. The devil is in those things, but the sheep are so zen.
Perfect.
But if someone cannot get out of their driveway and no one is helping them, just contact me, please.
Absolutely. No, we can get out. We're just parked at the very end of our driveway now.
Okay, cool.
Did anybody else have any comment, Larry? I assume this is part of why you were in attendance, but for the public hearing, was there anything else you wanted to add about it?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if people have heard any negative grumblings about it. I've heard some negative grumblings about it from the sidelines, and I've not been involved in discussions, but I've heard that there have been some negative noises, and a lot of it may have been on Facebook, which is a channel I do not receive and do not plan to in the future either. But that was what I thought the rumblings I heard were that there were maybe some discussions of it, and maybe even on Nextdoor, which a channel I do receive, but don't broadcast on. So I just wanted to open it up for discussion. It'd be really nice to know before that meeting if there are some themes of opposition and what the heck they are. I know nothing more than that, but it would be good.
I was hoping for the same insight. I know somebody posted the last meeting announcement to Nextdoor, but then there was no engagement on there. I was hoping that might have opened something up, but I haven't seen anything on Facebook.
And you haven't heard anything from Mike or others about it?
Mm-mm.
You probably should go by him sometime, and maybe Aaron and Chris to make sure if they've heard anything. And I think B had some maybe negative comments about it, and I may be wrong about that. But that was a possibility.
No, I appreciate that.
And she had some questions all along, reservations about it all along.
Okay.
Yeah, I think some of the reservations are about, what it would be used for. It's if you're going to be using it, it's got a vision, but the problem is, that vision can be used kind of indiscriminately and can hurt people. People might have a piece of property, they want to do something with it, and suddenly they're told, well, it doesn't fit with this vision, and they can't do it with it. Now, these people will be kind of miffed because, they may be losing a lot of money. They won't be able to sell their property. Now, we have examples, the Arrowhead Farm, Pete Davis, OSI came in and paid him handsomely to keep that his farm. Well, that's a private organization doing that. That's great. But if suddenly you have your town turning around and saying, no, you can't do it, and we're not paying you either, I can see why people would be upset.
Yeah, and I think maybe there's some misunderstanding of how how threatening it is in that private regard, and we probably need to get clarity on that. And that's something that I won't even try to.
Yeah.
Because Mike Baden is really good at it, and he knows his stuff.
Oh,
So
here I am. Okay. All right. Bye.
Yeah.
Can we try, has there been anything in the Bluestone Press that sort of gives that overview for people?
There was back in either November or early December ahead of the last scheduled public hearing. And I wonder if I have that article handy to send out. But if I don't, Todd is here and might be able to ask his wife.
Sorry,
Ann if
I
she
didn't
has-
find the link.
No, that's okay. Hey, congratulations on the grandchild.
Yeah, that's just, we just came
Cute
back. Ann's not there,
baby.
but she's still there.
Okay. Which hospital?
It was a birthing center. I forget the name of it, but I just have to, my daughter is 5'1" and the baby weighed almost 9 pounds.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. My wife's an OB nurse, so she
it was
she
like
would say, wow,
48
to
hour,
that.
48-hour labor. Anyway, go ahead.
That's tough. Oh, that's tough.
I'm 32 weeks pregnant. I don't want to hear that.
Oh, that's right.
Break that away from me.
It's going to be
Every
easy.
time I
Don't
go,
worry
I'm like,
about it.
it's a small baby, right? Todd, we were just talking about the public hearing for the comprehensive plan amendment. And we were trying to remember when the write-up that Ann did, where she gave the overview of both sides. She did a great long write-up last, maybe December, November.
You mean in the Bluestone?
Yeah. Do you happen to remember what issue that was?
No, and the trouble is she's not here. What
Yeah.
she said, the message she told me to tell you all is to make sure you make it
Oh, okay.
to
That
the
helps.
meeting. But as far as because Bluestone's not digitized, so it's not like I can
Yeah.
look up a document.
No, I know, and I'm sure I have the copy somewhere, but I gotta go. I'll dig it out.
But-
If I get my hands on it, Lisa, I'm sure I have it somewhere. I'll send you.
Yeah, I remember it, but I
Send it
don't
to
know
you.
which issue it, and I can never find it. But
Would-
Yeah.
Todd, would Ann have submitted that digitally though to them?
she
digital
she
copy.
does it on a computer and submits it, but they never. I don't know if she keeps it that way
Okay.
because
that-
they edit it after she gives it.
Is this a public hearing on the 23rd?
It is.
It is.
Yes.
Will they be voting on it at that hearing?
No, I don't think so. I should say that. I don't know.
So it's just a public
You-
hearing? Okay.
Yeah, I think it would go. They would vote on it at the town board meeting that follows. Correct?
Okay.
I think. Am I right on that, Larry? Do you?
I think so. I started to say that, and then I realized I'm not positive that's the case, and they can do special exceptions. So
Okay.
I don't know. But getting Ann's, and I don't remember it that well. But something like that. Lisa's idea is brilliant. And if that doesn't do it, then we need to come up with something, I think, and try to get it into the papers and on Facebook or whatever. But just in case things blow up, I mean, it's amazing how things can blow up, and I don't want this to. And
No, I am.
We know that things can blow out and based on
Yeah.
complete untruths.
Yeah, we may not want a lot of public input at a certain time.
Well, the other concern I had is it talked about being agricultural. And, I've lived in this area since 1960. And in one sense, that ship has already sailed. This used to be a highly dairy area, a very heavily dairy area. I don't know if you know, but New York was the #2 dairy state in the nation for many years. And my 4-H club was the New Hurley Dairymen. When you went to Ulster County Fair, you had barns full of dairy cows. you go to the Ulster County Fair. Well, I haven't been there in a couple of years. It's not worth going to anymore. But when I went a couple of years ago, they only had half a barn with a few dairy cows in it. And things have changed. And so when you're talking about agriculture, what are you talking about?
Well, it's not dairy. Dairy has gone down, but other new agriculture, organic
Yeah.
agriculture, it's just changed its form, and it's gotten a tourist element to it for sure. But that's good business, and it's a great business. So I think it's actually been coming back in some ways, but not dairy, not dairy.
Dairy certainly hasn't. No. In fact, since we came back, you know, I grew up on the other side of the Shangam Ridge in the town of Shangam. And so very close in Ulster County. When we moved into this area in 2015, I've already seen, I was stunned to see how few dairy farms were left.
Yep.
And I know 2 of them are gone at least. You know, Gordy Bell, he doesn't have dairy anymore. And
DeWitt,
couple, yeah. So they're,
yeah, Domino Farms. They sold up all their jerseys.
yeah.
But a lot of them are being taken up by new young farmers doing more intensive farming. So I don't understand it well.
Yeah,
But
row crops are going to come back, but
Yeah.
still the dairy.
Well, it's interesting to see what will happen, but it just, you know, and of course, what's one of the big things that's come in, well, not that I'm not necessarily big, but could be, is the growing of marijuana.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That kind of went bust too.
Yeah.
But Mark, the purpose of this plan is to help agriculture come back and to continue to prosper and make it more resilient and whatnot. I mean, that's one of the major ingredients of the plan that we're trying.
Yeah, but it's not that well defined. That's what I'm saying. You know, you're looking at things that have changed so dramatically. You know, what kind of agriculture is going to be coming back?
Well,
You know,
it's trying to provide opportunities, not dictate anything.
right?
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a new farm partner, and he's going to try to push these towns to supply areas for farmers markets, and then make a specific place in each town, and to support that part of a park or a parking lot, and have the townships or the cities help format a place for farmers to come and sell their wares. And then, so I'm wondering what in this plan is the encouraging factors for farmers? Are there grants available, subsidies? Are there tax incentives? What will be available to young farmers to help them get started? It's so difficult.
Yeah.
By having this as part of the comprehensive plan, that signals that we as a town have more of a commitment to supporting that, and that does make us better eligible for grants, that we can point to that as that this is documented and committed to in our comprehensive plan. So
I see. What we're saying in this plan is that we're open to these things, not that there are any direct actions being taken yet.
correct. The Natural Heritage Plan is a series of recommendations. It's not a series of mandates.
Law.
It's a start. It's a start.
Yeah, it provides more of a backbone for making stronger recommendations that do prioritize these. Prioritize conservation of natural resources and recreational resources and scenic resources and hydrological resources. But it's not
I saw that.
Mandating.
I saw that years ago when we started, and I did a little bit of an overview, but I didn't see any concrete actions toward protecting or encouraging new agricultural facilities. But I understand. Thank you, Metal.
Sure. It is this Natural Heritage Plan is 5 years old, 6 years old.
Yeah.
It's so it's already even maybe due for some updates, but one step at a time. I'm not getting ahead of it. not getting
Exactly.
ahead of it. But the town of
Understood.
Warworthing did, they did implement it into their comprehensive plan. So they would be a good test case for how you can use this to better protect and conserve existing resources.
It sounds like we got very good press and that the town will move forward with this. That's the general feeling that I get from some of my neighbors and people who are in the know.
I mean, there was a reason it wasn't adopted when it was passed before, but the town's changing. So I'm hoping that there's just more support now. I get the feeling that there is, but it is good to follow up and make sure that we know before the hearing. And I really haven't heard, I mean, aside from the good points that Mark is making, I haven't personally heard anything.
And I think the Bluestone Press article really helped.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get my hands on that and
Well,
I'll send that around again.
Ann did an article a while back, I remember, where she interviewed some young dairy farmer. It was I don't know what it was about, but it was like he was sort of trying to maintain the tradition.
Hmm,
The talk.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and I wish Erin was here. She could tell us
It's
more
really,
about-
dairy farming especially is really hard to get into if you're going to get into it.
well, I think he had been passed on in the family kind of thing.
That's almost the only way dairy farmers function anymore, is to be passed down through
Farming
generations.
in general, that's what I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, on any large scale, unless your grandfather and father was farming, you have to be loaded, and then why are you doing it?
Right.
I tried in the 80s and failed. And I had some local farmers helping me. Wally Lawrence helped me plant my field. The best I did was 3,000 ears of sweet corn, hand-picked and sold it to the co-op. But I didn't have any good advice and no good machines, and the next year I failed.
Yeah. Well, that's typical. I've known of an individual who was a farmer who started in Pennsylvania. And part of it, part of the success of farming is well, first, it's difficult to the outlay of land. And then if you haven't grown up on a farm, or unless you have great mechanical ability already, you're going to have a hard time making it, simply because you have so much equipment.
Oh, yeah.
And it always breaks. And if you can't fix it and you have to pay somebody to fix it, you're going to go bankrupt.
That's right.
And
And
that's
what about water? Water is the huge impasse. I mean, for me to start, I put up a greenhouse and I'm going to try row crops and a CSA and farmers markets, but my outlay to get a well in and then a huge reservoir is going to be substantial.
Actually, yeah.
I'm doing it anyway. I've saved and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But in the spring, excavators are coming and I'm putting in a big dug well and I'm going to put a swimming pool on top of my hill and have my well trickle charge that. So when August comes and it's the dry month, I'll have something to keep my plants going on trickle.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a huge outlay, but I'm trying it anyway. Because
I was going to say, have you tried digging your own well? I'm serious. I dug a well when I was in high school. My brother and I dug a well for farmer James Wilkin in Waukegan.
Yeah, I have a dug well, but there's clay underneath us, and when August comes, you need a reservoir.
Yeah,
and it better be trickle charged from a deep well. But I'm pushing for it anyway because I want to feed people and I want to grow organic vegetables as best I can, and I'm doing it anyway. I put up a greenhouse. I just got the heater 2 days ago, so now it'll be automated, and I'm just doing it. I have 40,000 seeds. Of all the different vegetables.
Erin Enowin is talking about starting an agricultural subcommittee for the town board. And it sounds like
that'd be smart.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could use some help. I could use some advice and some help because I'm going to dive headfirst into this now.
Great.
I want to feed people. Yeah. But sorry to digress.
No. I'm making a note to make sure that I put you in touch with Erin. I haven't heard an update from her about that subcommittee. Okay, I've got my marching orders for following up about that comprehensive plan hearing. My next item on here was the third Thursday Nature Series presentations, just to make sure that everybody knows that in March, Mark is going to be presenting along with Scott again.
Mostly Scott. Scott's really good. I mean, mostly my photos, but let Scott take it because he's really good. And if you didn't know, up until COVID and up until they did the renovation up at Minnewaska, for years, Scott has led a Tuesday morning through from starting in April going through into October, a bird walk every Tuesday morning up in Minnewaska. Hopefully it'll start again this summer.
That'd be great.
Wow, it's good to know.
Yeah.
Looking forward to your presentation. And
Could
then
I-
April, we're going to, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, I spent a lot of time promoting the last one and I think it worked out well,
Yes.
but I have some questions. I was not able to figure out what to do with the poster. In other words, I couldn't put it in next door. I couldn't put it on any of the I put it on what's that, the Patch and Hudson One and Chromo, what's it called? Chroma, that
Monogram?
yeah, Chronogram. And they all had their own formats, and they all had said, one said, you know, you only so many words, and one, you know, so forth and so on. So I really couldn't figure out what to do with the poster.
Well, you can
We
use it
most-
on Facebook, you just can't use it on those platforms.
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't put it on my own timeline, but you could put it on, it seems to me. I saw one of an earlier one. Was on the, I don't know if it's called the timeline, it's whatever. That's why I emailed you about who's in charge of
Facebook.
you know, because I apparently am not able, I don't know who can do that.
Yeah, no, I can put it on Facebook.
Well, I think you
I
should-
do.
You
Yeah.
should put it on Facebook, and you should do it right away, because Ann was telling me, for example, the Bluestone, we need to get all that, we've got the information now, and we need to submit it by Tuesday.
Okay.
So everything,
And did,
and I can get this, I have the same connections, I can try some more.
That's for the bird migration, right?
Right.
March.
Right.
Yeah, you had that information already.
Right. We have it now. No, it's on us to get it out there.
Okay.
And I'll do the best I can, but my question was just, I didn't find any, I'm not sure. In fact, even when I emailed, I'm not sure the link was still hot.
Well, by the way, you did a great job on that too, because we got, you know.
Yeah.
I
Well,
kinda-
no, it worked, but I had to, as I say, I had to
Yeah.
write it up and follow every person's format.
Yeah.
Some people, they had limits and how many words you could use and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe we should
well,
bring
going for,
you to have, you know, that created for each of these different posts you're talking about. So it's
Yeah.
every month we just go, boom, here's all these different folks. This is what they need. This is how, you know, we can just get as many people as possible to know about
Yeah,
it.
well, I have a list and it's growing and but I'm just saying each magazine or whatever it was had its own rules.
Yeah.
yeah, so
It
we'll
wasn't
send
like one
you,
size fits all.
instead of just the flat press release, we can send you the big
Oh, once I have
version
the
and the
info, I have to
condensed
put it-
version and,
Yeah, I have to put it into you know, whatever will fit.
Or- Yeah, like
For
maybe
sure.
sentences or something like that.
Yeah, you know, I have to edit it down usually.
Probably go with the
Okay.
first 3 sentences, like the main ones.
I also thought that if I had the I guess emails of all the other ECCs around, they might be interested.
they're on our mailing list. Yeah, they are.
Hey, Madeline, do you know how many people are on that mailing list right now?
125. And that was going to be my next thing, was to say, if anybody wants to send me your contact list, I can just import it straight into MailChimp and they won't ever know that you're the one who gave me your email. But if you want to, you can also direct people. There's a newsletter sign up link on our Facebook page, or they can just send an email to the rochester.ecc@gmail account, which a couple people have done, and that should be. I'd love to collect more. I got some in the chat box from the last third Thursday. People were sending me their email addresses, so that was helpful too.
That's a big increase because last month we had 70 on the list.
Yeah. Well, I spent some time poaching and looking through the mailing lists that I'm on and making sure that we were getting people.
All right. We set a goal of 100 participants by the end of the year.
Ooh,
So
like
we
that.
can increase by 10 each month. So
We
February.
can't go higher than that, or I have to update my Zoom or upgrade my Zoom account. So we're gonna have to cap it there.
All right.
I'm kidding. We can put that in our budget, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
Maybe if you advertise it that way, that we limit it to the first 100, maybe people
Ooh,
will jump on it.
It's more
I see you've done this before. Okay.
Yeah.
But we definitely blew February out of the water. We were going for 20 in the 20s for February and in the 30s for March. So we're, we can expect it to go up and down. We're not going to definitely get 50 every month. But
Listen, I was just talking to Ann. She's going to try to join from my daughter's house. But I didn't hear what you said. Do you have an email list that I can use?
Oh, I do. But are you going to send a separate email than the one that we're sending?
Well, so you're going to do it. Okay. Well, I don't care.
Oh, yeah. No. I'll put it out in the email newsletter. I was saying if you want to send me your contact list, if you have one.
No, I don't have. Well, I wasn't doing it that way. I was going through finding publications.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, and that's really, really helpful. The places that you posted it, that's a big
I'm
help.
still exploring that and trying to find more.
But he was looking for the emails for the other CCCs around the area. ECC.
That's what I like. Yes.
He is looking for that.
I can send you that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, they're already on the list. You just want their email so you can let them know about
They are.
the nature series. But they already know about it.
Yeah, no, they get our newsletter.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they knew about this.
They already know about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think a couple.
And
of
I
them
think
attended
actually
last time.
one of them, Iris Bloom, has been in here twice. And I think she's on the Marbletown ECC.
Yeah. Did that reminds me? I'm sorry to close this.
Actually, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said somebody from the Rosendale ECC was tuning in, and he was really impressed at how that we have our shit together.
Oh.
Yeah, that's us.
That's the flag.
It was so professional, and that they wish they could do it. And he wants to leave their ECC and join ours.
Well, that doesn't do anything for Rosendale.
No, I said I don't think that he should turn his ECC into emulate us or something.
I'm telling you.
No, but I would like to do a lot more cross ECC work, especially up and down the river, because that's huge. I don't think I have his contact info.
I don't know what his name was. I was talking to his friend, but technically we are doing that on the Rondout Creek Watershed Alliance is an alliance of all the ECCs in the area. And I'm on that, and so is Wawarsing and Marbletown.
My wife's on the ECC in Rosendale.
Oh,
Kelly
what's her name?
McGuire. Kelly McGuire.
What is it?
Okay.
Kelly McGuire.
Okay.
New
Well,
on the ECC in Rosendale.
that's
I have a question about these talks.
sure.
How far out do you schedule them?
Right now
Far
we're
out as
booked
we
through
can.
July.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing great. But I
Yeah.
was going to say, I see you've got great props behind you,
I'm
and I'm wondering if maybe
We need
trying to figure out. I mean, I've never tried to do it, but is it possible to do a PowerPoint on
Oh,
his.
definitely.
during his-
That's
Okay.
what we do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you're interested, I can do my mountain lion talk at some
Did
point.
you see the part where I wrote possibly a candidate for third Thursday next to your name on my notes? I was going to politely wait before asking you to
So-
do that, but yeah, that would be wonderful.
Well, you can,
I'll-
you
I'll
can-
reach out to you. I'll reach out to you, Chris, and we can talk about that. Okay.
Yeah.
and you can share your computer screen. So if you've got it on your computer, that's it.
I do.
Perfect.
Great.
Cool.
Hi, Anne.
Yeah.
Hi. I want,
Ah,
I don't want to stay too long, but I wondered if you guys have any questions about the Catskill Shawangan Greenway.
We have questions about that, and we have questions about the article that you wrote last, either November or December, about the comprehensive plan amendment hearing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Do you remember which issue by any chance? I was just digging through my stack of newspapers here trying to see if I had it, but
Well, I remember the hearing was supposed to be on December 11th, so it would have
Yeah.
been before that.
Anne, would you have a copy of that digitally, what you submitted to them?
I can give you my unedited version. I mean, they might change a word here or there.
if you don't mind sharing that with us, that would be
Yeah.
helpful.
yeah, that would be good.
Okay, what do you want me to do? Email it to you, Madeline?
Yeah, I'll pass it around.
All right, I will find it and I will do that. Yeah, I think it's real
Thank you.
important for you guys to be there. Not just, write the letter. I think the more people that are actually there voicing their support, the
Yeah.
better that'll be.
Hey,
But
Belmont,
we
you've done a great job of making people well informed on that, and really well-written articles too. I just wanted
Yeah.
to do publicly.
Wow, thank you, Larry. Let's see, where the hell would that be? I would have, Catskill, Shawangan.
I was gonna, yeah, we also have,
Oh, it'd be the board meeting article, probably. I guess, no. I'm gonna mute myself because I'm talking to myself.
oh, that's okay. Thank you. While she's looking for that, why don't I jump ahead and just say, Michaela said she wasn't able to attend tonight, but she didn't have any updates on the 4455 beautification project. But hopefully next month we'll learn something new about that. And we didn't have any planning board subdivision applications, so that's my housekeeping. And I'll wait until Anne, I want to
Well,
touch base with her about the,
The culvert, I don't know why Judith isn't here, but Ann has a second article that just came out in Bluestone Press. There's
Yeah.
Part 2 about that.
yep, got it in my bag.
And she
I haven't
also
read it
has,
yet.
she'll probably jump in and tell you, she has a photographer that's volunteering to set up cameras, I believe.
He may be on the call.
Yeah, he's on the call.
He is,
Oh, he is?
I wondered. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you missed his introduction. His name's Chris
is
Pratt.
this the phone I see in my screen here?
No, I'm up and I'm here.
Wave your hand.
Oh, wait, sorry. I got
Okay.
here late.
Hey, Madeline, I need to bow out. Thanks a lot.
Larry, thank you very much.
Good to see you, Larry.
If you want to check and see what we talked about after you left and what we said about you, you can tune into YouTube.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Thank you. Thanks for coming and reminding us to attend.
I don't know how to get out of here, though.
I mean, to boot you out? I can send you to the waiting room until you figure it out.
Yeah, that would be enough.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Bye.
Bye, Larry.
Oh, you do need booted out.
Go down.
Says leave meeting.
He didn't leave, though.
You didn't
And
leave.
then it'll
You're
ask
still
you
here.
again to leave again. Usually ask you twice.
Yeah, I haven't read this second page. I was disappointed that after having Judith's beautiful face on the front cover of Bluestone Press that this update got booted to page 5. What happened? What's that about? But yeah, there's some quotes in here from Chris. So I'll scan this and I'll send this to everybody in case you guys don't subscribe. But we'll make sure that I really want to get an update from Judith on that. And since we have Anne here, Anne, do you want to take a break from searching? I'm sorry I made you scour your records.
Go.
I found it. I'm sending it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I was just going to say, if you want to talk more about the wildlife corridor, Judith wasn't able to join us tonight, so
Yeah.
you would be the one who's talked to her most recently.
Yeah. Oh, did she send everybody the great stuff that she that she did?
Yes, she did.
Yeah. I don't know that
Beautiful work.
she's progressed beyond that, other than, wanting to implement this plan to put cameras around, and therefore we would need to find a way to finance it. But Chris will be the guy to say how much that might cost. Is he there?
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked earlier about getting some decent, inexpensive cameras, for maybe even $40 a piece. So 9 cameras, you could probably do that for less than $300.
Great. We do have a budget. We might be able to, we can have that discussion too, but I'd also like to independently look into some grant applications or what kind of, what we might be able to get.
We might be able to also see if one of the camera manufacturers would be willing to donate for a project like this, or if you know anybody who does that kind of thing. So I'll look into that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'd like to get out there while there's still snow on the ground, and maybe I can talk to Judith about this and get in there and do a track survey soon, sometime this week maybe. I have Friday off, so maybe I can check things out then and just see what the activity looks like right now.
Awesome.
Chris, did you get Judith's report?
I did.
Oh,
She did a great job.
That's right. You did tell me you got it. Could you tell by looking what, do you have any opinions about what might be the best one, the ones that might bear the most scrutiny, that might be the most likely pathways?
Not offhand, no. I would think the ones that, well, you don't always know, but where there's less traffic and less activity, less of our own activity around those culverts, you might see more activity there. But generally, stream corridors tend to be natural wildlife corridors. So that's the place to look for sure, for first, where you have the bigger streams. The Verneuil Kill, I think, might not be a great one actually, because it's just a weird setup in there. But there's a couple more up in farther up in Accord that I was looking at, like the one on Whitfield looks pretty. I think that's pretty promising. And of course, the one at Colony is always going to have a lot of interest. So, but yeah, if I can get in there this week and look at and see what's going on, we'll have a better idea pretty quickly.
Do you have any knowledge of any similar wildlife corridor projects? Maybe not necessarily even in our area, but just other kind of case studies that we can look to? Yes,
there are a lot of them, actually.
Okay.
They did a number of studies in Florida where the panthers were using culverts to get underneath the highways there, and a lot of other wildlife as well. But they did cam surveys of the panthers using them, because about 25 cats get killed every year on the roads down there, and the population's only about 200. So you take a pretty big bite out of the population every year. They're really stuck in Southwest Florida. There's not a lot, nowhere for them to go north of there. So there's that. There are some very famous studies. They're building a wildlife overpass out in Santa Monica, California. That's probably the most expensive one that will ever be built. It's over $100 million project, because the mountain lions that are in the Santa Monicas are also an isolated population. It's very difficult for them to get in and out. It's very difficult for other cats to get in there to add some diversity to their gene pool. So that's a famous one that's going on. Banff National Park, provincial park, I guess it's a national park in Canada. It's got some very prominent wildlife crossings. Europe has been doing this for a very long time. The first time I was in France, I was blown away by how many wildlife crossings there were, and they were all marked in these big, huge bridges, and they just had these big posters of the wildlife they were using, the crossings there. So there's a lot of research on this.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then if you look at the film, like the footage of the animals that are crossing those, those venues, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's like if you needed a way to sort of sell the project a little bit, that would be a way to do it.
It sure is, because everybody wants to see these things.
It's just great.
Yep. There's also, I think, another one. I think there's one going on in southern Ontario, because there's the big A to A linkage between Algonquin and the Adirondacks, and they've identified several key species there that they're trying to help, facilitate movement between those big parks, wolves, moose, and lynx. So I'm looking at that research for another project. So I can be able to pull that up as well.
Do you typically run your cameras on video mode or on still mode?
Still, I never ran them on videos.
Right.
But I'm open to doing it. So I'll see what because as I said, the cameras that we're using were pretty primitive compared to what they have now. So we can set them for either.
Still, yeah, I know. I've got a couple cameras that I set out, and I've run them on video. I tend to like them more on still as well.
And they work a lot fast. I mean, some of these cameras, you can get 3 or 4 still shots of an animal moving through there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What is the water an impediment at all?
Not unless it's really high, I don't think.
I was thinking that some of the smaller animals would have to swim, right?
Probably, but these are also going to be, as I was telling Ann, they're also critical for amphibians, especially when you've got water. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get the cameras.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could help with the turtle and frog crossing this spring with this.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that, but that would be great.
And I guess the hope would be that, publicizing whatever we did get to see would help, create interest in preserving whatever open space we've got.
Yeah, this is such a great project. And thank you so much for really documenting this process. This is amazing. This has been really good.
I'm very excited about it.
Thank
All
you.
right, I think I'm gonna have to go. Is there anything else I could help you guys with?
No, but thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Ann.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you, Chris. Did you-
Congratulations on the new baby, by the way, new grandbaby.
Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah, it's such a joyful thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yes, it is. Well, I think I should sign off too.
Okay.
I'll review some of these things that you sent me and get caught up because I am far behind. And if I have anything to add, I will. And great. I'm glad to be a part of things again.
Yeah, I'll send out the draft minutes tomorrow morning. Yeah, we can follow up from there too. Thanks,
Yeah,
Tim.
and
I'm glad you're well.
Do you have my cell phone number?
Is
it listed?
it the one that, is it 845-706-3689?
Yeah, and I will gladly come plow your driveway. I mean, you do, we're all doing what we love to do, and volunteers should stick together, and just give me a call.
You're the best. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm good for
Good night.
now, but if it better not snow again.
Just no
I'm gonna
problem. It's nothing for
blame
me.
you
I
at this
can
point.
I will gladly volunteer the time.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Have a good night. My last update before we all go, because it is getting late, I just wanted to give everyone an update. So I'm in week, I think, 3 of the Local Champions grant for the Climate Smart Communities program. And it's still just sort of a series of introductions to the resources that the grant is making available to us as a town and to the ECC. But I'm going to bring a more comprehensive update to next month's meeting. It's just been a lot. I'm still processing all of it, but the biggest resource that we have, so this grant is it's a 6-month grant program that kind of culminates in I should back up, I apologize. The Climate Smart Communities program, the town of Rochester wants to be certified bronze ASAP. Like we would love to do that as soon as possible. And the Climate Smart Communities program, in order to become certified, you complete a series of actions. There's over 150 actions, I think, that you can take that all award points. And you accumulate a certain number of points by submitting documentation of the actions you've completed. And that can get you certified as a bronze or silver community. There's no gold level yet. But a lot of the work that the ECC has already done does qualify. Actually, there's a huge section for getting points for hosting educational seminars and for doing social media and some of the things that we've all started doing. So there's already points to be made, but there are 2 representatives from the Cornell Cooperative Extension that are basically going to hold my hand for the next 6 months and go through every action available and identify which ones are low-hanging fruits for the town, what might be some easy things for us to accomplish, like switching out street lights with LED lights, or doing a fleet inventory of the town's vehicles, or a greenhouse gas emissions inventory for town buildings. Those are some of the more boring small items that you can get points for. It's a huge program, and you can take it in a lot of different directions. So these 2 consultants from the Cornell Cooperative Extension are kind of helping identify what is most appropriate for our town and for the kind of work that we want to do, and what might be the most engaging for us and the most plausible and affordable. And they're going to help me kind of put together an action plan that the ECC can then take to the town board and say, this is our path to certification. And that's going to happen later this summer when it ends. They'll be able to kind of help me put together that action plan. But in the meantime, while I work with them in going through some of the things we've already done and work with the town to kind of identify if we already have done upgrades that might count, or because a lot of the actions are, if you can show documentation of having done something within the last 5 years or 10 years, you can still get points. So part of it is just a lot of paperwork and harassing the town clerk to see what they have. But the more fun work that's involved is a lot of work in terms of how to best engage the actual community and how to educate them and get them involved in the process and identifying the things that people who live in the town of Rochester would like to see. You know, ways that the ECC is already doing work towards river cleanups and things like that. If we can better make some of that align with the certification process. There's a lot to it that's going to be really interesting. But in the meantime, I think what I want to do for the next, couple of weeks is put together what I've gained in just the last 3 weeks of a couple of different meetings and seminars, and come back to you guys next month and give you a better overview of some of it, so it's a little more digestible, because it's huge. It's so much bigger than even I thought it was when I applied for the grant. I can say that one of the steps that we're going to have to take on the early side is forming a climate smart communities task force, and we can talk about if we want that to be kind of an offshoot of the ECC, or if some of you want to participate and some of you don't. It has to be a separate group, but it would be something that we would be, as the ECC, aligning with very closely. And the town of Marbletown, I guess, is a good example, because their climate smart communities and ECC groups are the same, and they just meet right after one another, I believe. So there might be some ways that we can talk about how we want to do that going forward, but that's going to require me kind of putting together more of a presentation for you than I'm prepared to do for tonight. So before the next meeting, so that everybody has a chance to kind of go through it and we can talk about it better, I'll put that together. But in the meantime, just know that 2021 is going to be a really fun year for us as a group.
Does that mean the things that we did, like the pulling the tires out, is that documented? I mean, what do you mean by a document?
Not the way that they want you to submit documentation. Sometimes pictures will do, or even like a news write-up. Sometimes they want actual requisition forms of low flow toilets that were purchased by the town. You know, those kinds of things. It just depends on what action you're trying to submit points for.
So now, if Anne wrote an article, what I'm thinking now is that what maybe we need to do, or we need to do, is start scanning them.
Mean, but I also,
well, I mean, and that's the only way, and because they
Going
get edited
forward,
after
for
she
sure.
sends them in.
Yeah, I'm letting them pile up in my house, so I can scan the ones I've got. But
Right, but it just occurred to
going
me
back,
now
you might have
that's
to do
one way
that.
to digitize them.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I know that. I mean, I don't want to put that extra work on you guys. We can
Well, I can do it.
take that on, but that would be really helpful. It would be, because she's a resource.
Right,
she's the institutional memory of the town of Rochester at this point, in a big way.
Right.
So that would be helpful. Thank you.
All right.
In between your baby breaks, do that maybe. But I already scanned one of the wildlife corridors ones.
Also, did you say you're 32 weeks?
I am.
So that means in another 4 weeks, you might be not available.
I hope not, but no, I will be available. I've got help. It's my second baby, so I'm not going to be blindsided this time.
Oh, yes, you're an old hand at this.
Old. Yeah, I got this.
Well,
I'm due Earth Day, so later in April. I might miss our April meeting. We'll see.
Well, I wish you luck.
I might be being really naive by being like, I'll be there. But I'll definitely. Yeah, it feels really doable right now.
Give yourself some flexibility.
So I forbid at all future meetings any talk of 9-pound babies. That is off the table. We're not talking.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm glad that the baby and the mom are healthy. That's what's important. So I'll send something along before the next meeting for sure, within the next couple of weeks, about that grant program and the climate smart communities. But I'm still just in the research phase. It's it's cool and it's exciting, but it's a lot.
So,
And
let me
but
ask that. Some of these things that we are just talking about, scanning things, should these be put in a Google Drive? Would that be a smart thing to do?
if you have that ability, yeah, or you can just
Well, I
send
mean,
them
I
to me.
just
I can put them in
just
there.
found out about that, and I'm now able to go there to find
That
things.
would be awesome. I would
So-
love it if you would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can post things there. Okay, we'll see.
Thank you. Thanks. And you said Tuesday is when I'm due. I'm sorry that I'm skipping back and forth, but you said Tuesday is when you need the information for next
Well, we've
month.
got the information. You got the poster. We
do?
don't need. Well, you got the poster. We
good.
don't need. We just take off the information and put it in a format that they can use for the boost on.
Okay, great. I was just making sure you didn't need anything else, but I forgot
No.
that we already had.
My
next
only
month ready
comment
to
was
go.
I was hoping the poster would appear on the webpage.
It's going to go onto our Town of Rochester webpage, and it's going to go onto the Facebook page. I just need to post it
Okay,
do
so
that
you're the
too.
one that posts it. You're the boss. Okay.
to those 2 sites, but you're the boss for all the other ones now.
Okay.
Let me know if you need
But
some help.
the
Thank
reason
you.
I ask is because the main thing is just direct people to the Facebook page. That's where everything goes. And then, the easier it is,
Yeah.
the more people we get.
Yeah, and the Zoom link is linked in the Facebook event itself too, as well as on the poster. So it's in trying to get it out as many places as possible. Plus, I put a link to it in our newsletter.
Good.
So
All right.
we'll get it out there. Thank
right.
you. Thank you for your help in promoting it.
Sure.
Does anybody else want to add anything before we check off?
Good.
Thanks, guys. This was a good meeting. Chris, thanks for sticking it out. This was a long one. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks.
me.
Yeah,
Ellen,
absolutely.
How long was your labor for the first one?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like 6 days.
It was what?
It started, I think technically they told me it was 17 hours, but I was definitely like,
Oh, this
it
one will be
it was,
fast.
yeah,
This will be
yeah. It was fine. It was there were no complications. It just,
There you go.
I had no idea what I was in for. So this time I do. It'll be good. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'll see you guys at next month's meeting.
Yeah.
Barring any surprises.
Okay.
Have a
Nice-
good night,
nice
everybody.
later.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You.
Bye.
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 Bye.